Welcome back to Between the Chalk. In today's video, we'll be discussing the new rules that MLB is testing in 2023 in the Atlantic League. Major League Baseball, always at the forefront of innovation and progress, is constantly looking for ways to improve the game we all love. In recent years, MLB has been using the Atlantic League, an independent professional baseball league, as a testing ground for new rules and ideas to enhance the sport. Let's take a closer look at some of the rules that were experimented within the Atlantic League in previous years. Robot umpires, which is an automated ball and strike being used to assist home plate umpire. This technology uses camera and sensors to track the trajectory of the ball and accurately determine whether a pitch is a ball or a strike. This one has not made it to MLB or the minor leagues yet. Next rule they have tested: shifts, which requires infielders to have both feet on the infield dirt and two fielders on each side of the bag when the pitch is released, limiting the ability to shift dramatically. This is the rule that is now in MLB in 2023. Another rule tested: electronic catcher signals, in which catchers use a device worn on their wrist to receive signals from the dugout, which are then relayed to the pitcher via light up indicators on the pitcher's cap or wristband. They scrapped this, ended up going with the system that is being seen in baseball now, with the buttons being pressed and the pitcher having a speaker that he puts in his hat, sort of like a QB. Another rule tested in the Atlantic League: the pitch timer, where pitchers are required to throw a pitch within a specific time limit, usually around 15 or 20 seconds, depending if there is a runner on. If they fail to do so, a ball is added to the count. Another rule being tested, or at least that was tested previously: the step off rule, which is basically a pitcher can only step off 3 times. If you don't pick the runner off on the third one, it's a balk. This one is now in the MLB as of 2023. Another rule being tested, or at least was tested previously: bigger bases. They were also tested in the Atlantic League and are also now in the MLB in 2023. Next rule: they also tested moving the pitching rubber back 1 foot for half of the season, and that didn't make it. That one got scrapped pretty quickly. I think what they were wanting to do with that is, since velocity is high in the MLB right now with pitchers, they wanted to give hitters more time, but actually strikeout percentage went up because it gave more time for pitches to break. So they immediately scrapped this one, and doesn't look like they're going to be moving the pitching rubber back. Next rule: they tried a drop pitch rule, which to me is ridiculous, where batters will be able to advance to first base on any pitch that is not caught in the air by the catcher, even if first base is occupied by a runner. Those who get to first base safely will be awarded with a hit. I think, I mean, that sounds ridiculous to me. I'm glad that one was scrapped. And just so you all know, I'm naming all of these to show not all the rules that get tested in the Atlantic League make it to the MLB. So I don't think we need to be panicking over any of these new rules that I'm going to be mentioning below making it to the MLB. So now let's go over the rules that the MLB is testing in 2023 to possibly bring into the minor leagues and then possibly make it to the major leagues. A designated pinch runner. Each team lists a player not in the starting lineup as their designated pinch runner before the game. That player can come in as many times as he wants to pinch run, and the player he pinch runs for stays in the game. Also, the pinch runner can come into the game as a regular substitution as well. But I do wonder what happens here. Do they lose the designated pinch runner if that designated pinch runner comes in as a regular sub? Can they assign someone else on the bench if that designated pinch runner comes in as a sub? Also, will they make it a 27-man roster instead of a 26? I think this one would be a little interesting to see if it makes it to the MLB. This one is a little less ridiculous out of the 3 being tested this year, in my opinion. The next rule, which I don't think it's that big of a deal. Pitchers may say otherwise, but basically 1 disengagement per at bat for the pitcher. Currently, we're at 2. So basically, the pitcher can disengage twice from the rubber per at bat. I don't know how much that really affects pitchers. I guess maybe we'd have to wait and see what pitchers think of this one. But I don't know about this one. Next one. I think this one is a little ridiculous as well, which is the double hook DH. This rule has been tested in different variations in the Atlantic League previous years. The variation being tested this year allows a team to use the DH as long as the starting pitcher reaches 5 innings pitched for that game. If the starter fails to reach 5 innings, the team then loses the DH for the remainder of the game. This one is a little confusing to me as we literally just implemented the DH in the National League. I get what they're trying to do with trying to make starters more important to the game, but I think the cost of that is I don't think that the cost of making this rule benefits much. Are they going to add more players to rosters? Because if you have to pinch hit before the 5th inning, that leaves 3 guys on the bench, with one already being the backup catcher. That's 2 players left on your bench. If it's a blowout game, you won't be able to rest some of your star players. What if an injury happens? I just have way too many questions with this one to just try to make starting pitchers maybe a little more valuable with trying to make them go past 5 innings, kind of like old eras. But let me know what you guys think about these new rules being tested down below in the comments. Please leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in. See you on the next one.